All right, hello Virgo. Thank you so much for joining us at 3 Rabbit Tarot. Thank you for putting up with our extended hiatus. And we are going to jump right into things. We're going to be doing a weekly reading for the week of the 24th for you, Virgo. And if this resonates with you, please check out your Sun, Moon, and Rising videos as well. We're going to start by pulling a bunch of cards here. We're going to build a Celtic cross for you. And we're going to start with our first card here for your present general energy. And we're already off to a very interesting start. Virgo, we have the Tower card. So definitely a devastating card to start with. Everybody, says that the Tower is the worst card of the tarot deck, or next to death and the devil, of course. But I think with the Tower, it's just always, for me, it feels more about there's been some kind of catastrophic change in your life. Something has changed significantly, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. But that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, Virgo. It's okay to experience some kind of changes, some kind of transformations. It's through this process of grand destruction that we can build something new. So it's on the foundation of a destroyed tower, you can build something more magnificent, more suited for who you are, Virgo. With a challenge that you're facing, we have a Fool card. Well, it seems pretty self-explanatory here, Virgo. I think that you've experienced a Tower moment. There's been something catastrophic. Maybe somebody has passed away. Maybe you were fired from a job. Maybe you got, kicked out of school. Something catastrophic happened to you. Maybe you lost some friends. And now with the Fool card, with these two cards grouped together, and especially this being your challenge card, this is basically saying that there's kind of a failure almost to start something new. And I don't think that you have failed. You haven't missed an opportunity, Virgo. There are always going to be new opportunities. But I think that right now, because of your Tower moment that you've been experiencing that is ongoing and present, you're just a little reluctant to start something new. It's really kind of holding you back. It's that fear of starting something new because you see that there's already been some kind of tragedy here, Virgo. In our recent past, we have the Nine of Cups. Yeah, so here in our recent past, we have the Nine of Cups, Virgo. So this is basically saying to me that in the recent past, you felt really calm and comfortable with the situation that you were in. You were feeling maybe a little bit too comfortable because there was some big Tower moment that just occurred. I think that I'm really feeling that this happened just within the last week or so, Virgo. You might have lost somebody or lost a job, anything catastrophic that has happened to you. That's what this Tower moment is kind of speaking of. And I think that before you felt really comfortable. You felt really oh, nothing's going to change. I won't lose anybody. Nothing's going to change catastrophically in my life. And then something did catastrophically happen. And I think that it could be, that's why you're feeling a little bit apprehensive about starting something new. I think that it's just really sour to you. You were coming from such a grand height up here, and now you're at such a tremendous low that it's a little bit hard to get started again. Coming into your future, we have the Queen of Swords, which is a positive card to see, I think, in this situation. It's always a positive card, it's the Queen of Swords, but I think in this situation it's more so a positive card because it's a card of setting boundaries and kind of it's about wielding some kind of power but not necessarily using it. It's about not ruling through force, but it's ruling through setting boundaries, and people respect you because they understand what those boundaries are. So I think that you kind of just, you've lost something here and you're afraid to get started on something new, but going into the future looks pretty confident because I think that this catastrophic event is going to allow you to create new boundaries. So maybe you've lost some friends or something, and the lesson is that you need to set better boundaries with your friends or whatever, or not overshare certain things with people who will ultimately maybe end up betraying you because you put too much trust into the wrong people. So here with your goals and aspirations, we have the Eight of Swords card, which is kind of a weird card to see, right, for your goals and aspirations. I could see this as being you want to get out of this situation. You're in a Tower moment right now. I'm starting to build up a story right now for you, Virgo, that there have been people in your life, maybe former friends who betrayed you in some sort of way, and you were feeling really comfortable. You thought everything was cool with them, everything was fine, and then all of a sudden you find out, oh, they've actually been talking shit at me, behind my back or something, or they betrayed me, or they got me fired from a job, or something, or maybe they stolen stuff from you. Something catastrophic has happened to destroy that friendship, and you're afraid to start something new, afraid to find new friends. But through this situation, you're going to be better at setting boundaries. And the Eight of Swords card here is saying that you want to get out of the situation where you're feeling oppressed by those individuals. So right now you really feel like they're like bearing down and like weighing down on you. But here in your unconscious, this is like pretty, or subconscious, this is pretty good to see at least. So this is like a little bit of a source of inspiration for you with the Queen of Wands. I'm feeling with this Queen of Wands card that you kind of need to tap more into your individuality and kind of expressing yourself a little bit more. Maybe you've kind of just failed. Maybe you've gone through life like, there's some people who almost sell themselves short. They're like, oh, I don't want to express myself too much. I don't want to like be, maybe there's like a certain, so here with like the Queen of Wands card, I could see it as like, maybe you've built up this friendship with people who are never really your friends to begin with. Maybe you wanted to be like this really expressive, creative individual, but for some reason, these people have continuously put you down. And with the Queen of Wands card here, it's saying, okay, well, you have like a new start now. Maybe you lost those terrible friends, Virgo. But it's a good thing because now you have like the freedom to express yourself. And in doing so, you're going to set up new boundaries. So when you meet friends who you really resonate with, when you meet your new family of people, they're going to like really resonate with you, and you're going to be able to build up a stronger friendship with people who inspire you and uplift you in some way. With advice, we have the Justice card here. And this could be, and obviously, it's just, in Virgo, this is really matching up. We have the Queen of Wands, the Justice card here, almost the same pose, sitting in that chair. I think that you're the one who's going to be rendering some sort of justice. And there might be some people who are holding you back from some sort of ambitions that you had, but right now you're coming into a situation where you're going to be able to render justice and kind of like decide for yourself like who you want to be around. As far as your guidance goes, we have the Five of Swords card here. So with guidance, this is somebody walking away from a battle. Everybody's looking defeated though. Nobody looks particularly happy in this. And in the original Five of Swords card, the person walking away with the Three Swords, they look very confident and full of themselves. But in this card, the rabbit doesn't look very happy either, who's walking away with the swords. So everybody in this situation has lost something. And I think that the guidance here is saying like you need to find a way just to kind of like shelter yourself, cut yourself off entirely, and just step away from these individuals who are causing you so much pain and anguish. And that's going to be the way that you can start something new. And it's going to hurt them in a process too. Maybe they kind of did like you, but they just didn't like, who you were as like, you were like authentic spirit or something. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this. There's just no appreciation for who you really were. There is just an appreciation for how you fit into their group. And with your hopes and fears, we have the Five of Cups. So I think that you could be just kind of afraid right now of walking away from something. You're kind of seeing the things that have fallen on the wayside behind you. You're kind of seeing these friendships that you're lost. And it's hard to see that, in the process of losing these friends, in the process of losing this group of people, you now have the opportunity to create something new. And as your outcome, these are all upside down and I don't read reversals. As your outcome, we have the Emperor card, which is super positive to see, Virgo. So I think coming into like this next week or next couple weeks, you're going to be building yourself up as like the emperor of your life. You're going to be just a little bit more willing to be creative and expressive with who you are. And I mean, it's a process though. Nothing happens overnight, Virgo, and there's going to be great changes on the horizon for you. And it's going to be a matter of, and Virgo, it's going to be a matter of just cutting off certain people and like really prioritizing yourself right now. So that's the general vibe of this reading, Virgo. So Virgo, here at the end of the reading, we're going to do a new thing where we pull 3 cards for yes or no questions. We're going to do yes, no, or maybe. So if you want to pause the video right now, you can think of 3 questions. Give you 1 second. All right, and 3, 2, 1. Now that's not even a card. 1. All right, so here in your first question, I have a maybe, a definite maybe with the moon. With your second question, I have a yes. And with your last question, also a yes. So a maybe, yes, and a yes on that. So thank you so much for joining us, Virgo. If this reading resonated with you, please check out your sun, moon, and rising. Also, like this video, subscribe, comment down below on what we can do better. Thank you so much for joining us, Virgo.